Welcome to my new channel. I do have another channel, but I cut opal, so it's probably not the perfect place to post this. Just before I say anything, I do have a chemical background in, working this big thing. So this is going to be all about using rainwater in aquariums, because there's a lot online that say otherwise. But as I said, I've got a background in chemicals, spraying these bad boys, and I live out in Woodward, so no access to town water. So I've got to do what I've got to do and show the people that it can be done. Rainwater isn't as bad as what you think. There's just a few things that you got to do before you can actually, well, that's not true, but as long as you keep your parameters and using certain chemicals, you can do anything with rainwater. Going to be quite a lot of tests within this, but when you think about it, why can't fish live in rainwater? It's natural, it comes from the sky. So it's going to be quite a budget build. I've got eucalyptus driftwood in there, some plants from a channel, some sand from my local river system, and of course rainwater. So there's going to be a lot of trials in with this, but personally I think it can be done. I've had tanks in my younger days. I haven't done it for quite a while, about 16 years to be honest, but when I did do it, I loved it and I knew what I was doing. So we can do this, because my YouTube algorithm has been father fish, MD fish tanks, keeping fish simple. They're all people I watch constantly, and everyone's got their own ideas out there, and there's not one way to do fish. So let's get into it. So sit back and enjoy, and let's see what we can do with rainwater. Fish tank from Facebook Marketplace. Here we're just filling it up slowly. I'll put some rocks on there to keep the driftwood down. You do have to remember to get old driftwood. This is about halfway. Now put some plants once it's all filled up. This is going to sit here for a couple of days like this. I've caught one of my little baby guppies from another tank. Put a sponge filter in there to clear it up a little bit, and also put some new rocks. The scape is getting there. As you can see that I've put another 2 guppies in there, just as an in-tank cycle for the fish. Cheap and nasty fish to get the job done. Here's where I made a homemade water polisher out of a power head, some carbon cloth and some filter floss. Now as you can see, it was Valentine's Day, and my wife, being the good wife that she is, bought me a canister filter to fit the size of this tank. As you can see, after putting this in, you can really notice the tannins in the water now. We've also got some black mollies and a couple of catfish. The tank is settling in quite well now, and the fish are happy, swimming around nicely. Now after a dose of fertilizer and a couple of water changes, it's ready to go. The plants are bouncing back nicely and it's quite an ecosystem. Now to remember, this is all rainwater. Here's where I put in some avocado trimmings off my tree. I thought I'd take some still shots of the aquarium. Plants are growing nicely. Put some live plants out of the top. My bristle noses that I just put in, a pair are breeding, and this is the male fanning his eggs. That's the female eating the cucumber that I feed them. So I went to the store and got most of the fish that I'm going to need for this, and also put one of the original guppies in a breeder box because she's heavily pregnant. Probably 2 days to go before she drops. We'll have a look at these babies in a minute. This is about a month and she has dropped her babies. I will put them in a separate box here with some Java fern just till they grow up a little bit bigger, and then I'll be dropping them back into the tank. Also, I make alcohol, so this means free CO2. I just had to hook up a simple air line to my bubble counter. That's it bubbling away there. I only put this on for a short while as there's too many bubbles and the CO2 and the pH spikes quite quickly. So I put it on for about an hour and it injects CO2 into the tank. Okay, we're about 45 days in and everything's coming along quite nicely. I'll just let you watch the fish for a bit. Till next time guys, I'm out.